Hi guys, how are you all? I'm full of cold today, but I really wanted to record this for you while the kids are out on notes. So we're just going to go ahead and get into it. So I wanted to pop in, she says. I just been on Dave, my husband's Substack there, showing somebody else it. Right. So I wanted to pop in to here, which is the most akin space to the Substack app. So you know when you can get onto your own profile, people are like, how do I find my own notes? It's literally here. You just click this tab and you're going to get all the notes that you've ever done. So that was the first thing that I wanted to show you. Also, if you do a slash and then whatever it is you're looking for, so say slash recommendations or slash settings, usually it does help you end up there. So if you're on your Substack and you just put that in, I'm just getting a tissue, sorry, and you put that in, then you should be able to find your notes as well. So while I'm talking about Substack notes and the power of them, I just wanted to, for those of you that don't know, I was on Substack a full year before they introduced notes. And then I think you've probably heard this, but we all had this really sharp increase in subscribers from posting on notes. And we're still seeing that. So the trend of, an article might bring me like anywhere between 2 and maybe 40 new subscribers. And you can see that in the dashboard stats. But then everything else that I'm doing is because of notes, it's because of recommendations. And those are the two main places to grow your Substack. So you sort of have to get over the mindset of not being seen, because that is part of social media. It just feels strange. So if somebody doesn't like something, or if you feel like you've posted and you've had no response, it can just feel quite a strange human experience. And I just wanted to acknowledge that it can feel a strange human experience, or you can see it as a conversation starter that nobody was around to pick up on. And so then you just try another one. So I do quite a lot of notes every day. I do my own note, I'll do some restacks, I'll restack with some sort of comment. And I've talked to you before in the membership about the different types of ways that you can try gaining traction on notes. You'll see sometimes people are just like post a sort of a common statement about how they feel about the internet or how they feel about Substack, and that gets quite a lot of traction. There was one the other day that likened Substack to a bookshop. I forget the writer's name, I think it was David, somebody. But anyway, it got quite a lot of likes. People want to say, yeah, like it is like that. I agree with that. So this is going to be your notes space when you come into it. And then you can do a little bit of just checking out, okay, like which ones did something. So sometimes I like to just go back through and then see. So this one, I hadn't realized there's 56 likes, I think because I get quite a lot of notifications in the Substack app. So it's hard to like add all of that up and see cumulatively. So people wanted to like this. It wasn't a big commented on post. I mean, it could still, it's only been a day, but people wanted to like that and move on. So sometimes people want to do that on notes. Other times people will want to reply. So this one that I did was quite a vulnerable one for me to write, something that I've been experiencing recently and some sort of uplifting mindset stuff. So people did want to reply. So there's 28 replies there. And I guess I was inviting replies. I wasn't explicitly inviting replies, but obviously people are kind and they want to sort of check in. Then some are obviously talking about essay club. This one was quite good because it got a bit of conversation going around audio, and I like to talk about Substack and all the tools that we can use, and I like to position myself in that space. So that feels really good. I love this quote in Antonia's essay, so I restack that. And that just means that I can share people's work to my followers. So because I've gained quite a lot of traction on Substack, I've got quite a lot of followers. And so those are people that subscribe to my publication and follow me independently and don't subscribe to my publication. And they could obviously decide to unfollow at any time. But while some of them are here, I want them to see what it is that is resonating with me. And that's what this one was about. This felt really nice to do. So, because I've just launched Essay Club, I want to try and share as many of them as possible without it getting tiring for the people that aren't taking part. But I think there's always a way to do that, to talk about it as a social experiment, to talk about it in terms of quoting somebody else's words. So it felt really nice to share that. And I do like sharing notes with images in as well. That always feels really good to do. This one was inviting people back into this post. So don't be afraid to share a post that's a little, a little bit older, like maybe this was a week or so old and I reshared it again because it's timely and it feels like people might want to jump in with conversation there. So that feels really good to do. And I'll always look for notes that are from people that are cheerleading or notes from people that are like close to like a certain number of subscribers and restack them. It just feels really nice to be able to like say, look, we're all in this together, let's go. Yeah, oh, this was good the other day from Sarah Tasker that was about the tech side of integrating to mailing list spaces. I'm not going to go into that because it's so tech complicated, but it was good. Essay Club again. This was about notes. I think that, anything that is about Substack or about notes does quite well. People like to kind of have a chat about Substack on Substack, don't they? So that's all going to do quite well as well. Yeah, I think that's probably enough scrolling. Well, that's probably one of the ones, yeah, so close to 100 subscribers. I'll always restack them if I see them because I just think it's so nice to be able to do. Yeah, and then any kind words that people have said about me as well. I think it's really nice to share that I've seen those, and also it's that social proof, isn't it? So yeah, a really, really good thing to do. So let me stop sharing my screen a second. So just while I'm here, I want to talk a little bit, and we're going to talk about this in class as well, about that kind of subscriber pyramid from the follow that's been recently introduced to a subscriber to your work, to a paid subscriber, to a founding member, or whatever tier you've called that. I've called mine diamond members. I think it's just common sense, isn't it, to know, and we've known this from the internet, that if someone follows us, there's an interest there, and there's an interest where they want to get to know more of what we're up to and more of our work. But they've made a decision, maybe based on their own capacity about what they've got to read, or it not being the right time, that they're not going to subscribe to our publication. And that can feel quite hard because that's where our work is. So if we shift the mindset and we say, oh, but some of our work is also on notes, people will get fragments of our work. They'll get insight into how we see the world, into our values by scrolling notes. If that's what they want to do, they've made that choice. We have to make it worth their while to subscribe if that's what we want, if we want to keep growing subscribers. In my opinion, someone isn't going to turn from a follower to a founding member. I think that's a big jump. I would think that they would stay following, then subscribe, then become a paid subscriber, then maybe a founding member, or maybe at that payment point they'll decide between paid and founding member. So the work that I've done recently has been solely focused on, is this going to increase subscriptions to my publication? Is this going to make people feel like this is something they want to be part of and they don't want to miss out? So on notes, we could easily miss somebody's note, couldn't we? But if we're subscribed, then we have the option to read that piece, to save it for later, to join in with the comments. And the comments are that kind of private room at the party. So it's anyone that decides to go out and sort of sit in the garden and have their own private chat. And that's what I want. Like, I want to take it from the notes party into the private party. And so that's where my focus is. And I don't worry about it too much. Those followers can do whatever it is that they want. I don't look at the numbers. I mean, they're there on the dashboard. This month I did see that there was 500 new subscribers to Sparkle and Substack and 900 new followers. Fine, fine. We can't possibly know how that's going to translate yet, but obviously my spidey sense is make it worth their while, subscribing to your platform. Even if you do that, some of them still won't, and that's okay. So when we're doing notes, we want to be quite varied in what we're sharing. We want to share multiple times a day if we've got chance and time, because restacking takes seconds, doesn't it? And you're not bothering anybody. They've decided they want to follow you. They decided they want to be let into your world, and so it's totally fine. People will say, "Oh, I don't do too many notes." Well, I don't know that you can do too many notes if you're sharing other people's work. I think that's a really beautiful thing to do, and people really appreciate it. So the algorithm will pick up what it picks up, but I don't think we should pause because we've already shared 3 people's work today. I'm not going to share a 4th one. I just think that's bonkers. Just be in flow and share generously and honestly and have a nice time. So yeah, while I'm here, the different ways that we can use and come to the notes pad, if you like, and write what is that we want to write on notes. There are so many different ways. We can share our own work. Of course we can. It doesn't usually get that much traction because what you want is people to like it and comment below the note. If you're sharing your own work to get them over, it might bring them over, but the note's not going to stick around a long time unless you're asking them for a comment underneath, because it's the comments and the likes that make the notes shown to more people over a longer time. And I've seen notes hang around up to a week, which is quite a long time in social media world, isn't it? So I think just thinking about that and putting a little bit of thought in, and sometimes a note can take a little while to write, but it absolutely doesn't have to. You know, you could start a weekly thread, you could start a weekly share, you could think about using it in a more visual way. You could think about sharing something more about your day. There are so many different ways to use it. But I'll leave it there for now. I just wanted to bust a few myths about what people are feeling about notes and where to find your own notes, and then we'll pick it up again in the call on Monday. And if you've got any questions, just pop them below. I'd love to hear from you.